So after ending last episode with Schwa for now, Ichi then gradually kicked me out of the house, moved me back to Dunville, and now I am sitting on a single side bed with all of my things staring at me from the walls.
I just love the thought of gradually kicking you out. Like I was just standing there with my foot up your ass for at least 40 minutes.
I was more thinking, like, limb by limb.
You can either kick me out or you can jazz kick me out from Fresh Prince.
I like that one.
Unfortunately, there was no Crash Man.
Give the roll call.
We are live! Mike! Zenkaigan!
Connect.
Loading.
Broadcast.
Wielding equipment, the plot, and ire! Bluecaster, Kishiryu Zi-O! Loud and impulsive, Pinkcaster, Lane!
Illuminating the Tokuverse. Yellowcaster, Hollow.
One little spark of courage. Greencaster, Global Self Perka.
Watching all the anime. Redcaster, show rating.
Cubecaster, not afraid to speak their mind. Cyancaster, Arcadia.
Broadcasting hundreds of opinions across the world!
Radio Sentai Castranger.
Welcome to episode 239 of Radio Sentai Castranger.
Hello.
We have a full house today. In-house and on the internet.
Ooh, the internet.
Gar's coming to
Looks
us all
boring.
the way from Finishedville.
Finishville.
Yeah, because you're done.
Oh, I get. I would tell you to go home, but
But both of us are home.
I'm literally home.
I'm figuratively home?
Where's the image? This is what I'm literally
down the street from home.
No, this is what I'm staring at right now. I'm staring at nothing but Transformers.
So your room is sideways?
Right?
Yes.
No, it's more like your room is side swipe.
Or are you
No,
just
no,
lying on
no.
are you just lying on your bed with
That
your
was
head
terrible,
looking at it
sorry.
sideways?
No, I'm like Gimpy. My bed's on my side.
I don't think we've been properly introduced.
But yes, it's episode Elekid.
Yes, thank you, Blaze.
10?
And everyone.
Oh.
It's episode 239, so it's episode Elekid.
That's good.
And welcome everyone to the first installment of our second year of Metal April Judgment Day.
Metal April 2. Metal April 2,
Nope.
Secret of the Uwu.
Metal April 2, Secret of the Boogaloo.
Secret Boogaloo.
Secret Boogaloo is better, yeah.
So for those that don't know,
what I'm saying.
last year we did a theme called Metal April, where we talked about older shows from the Showa era, where all the heroes were all machines in a way.
Mostly Metal Hero series.
No, only one Metal Hero series.
Well, what counts as a Metal Hero is weird and hard to pin down from my perspective.
Gavon and upwards is considered Metal Hero.
Alright.
Kikaider did not count. So yeah,
Yeah.
last year we talked about Kikaider, Kikaider 01, Matelder, and then Kikaider Reboot.
And then we
And
decided.
this year we're talking about Kikaider again.
And after that,
Yeah.
we decided to put down those entertaining Matelder products.
Oh, do I have a Mattel toy? I don't. In this massive room of mine, I don't have a Mattel
Damn
toy.
you, Hasbro! Alright, so this week we are talking about Zi-O episode 28 and 29, because last week, for those who didn't listen, Zi-O didn't get subbed until literally right after we recorded last week's episode.
Yep.
So we're
Yep.
playing a little catch-up, though it's not quite what we'd qualify as a double episode special. So,
Oh, yeah, so we actually have to do both. Okay.
Yup. So, Zi-O episode 28, 29, Ryusoulger episode 3, and for our first week of Metal April 2, the Android Kikaider movie, which was only a 30-minute affair.
As they were
in a lot of
So,
cases.
As you do.
I didn't realize that there was a Kikaider movie from based on the original series until after I finished watching it.
Fun.
So yeah.
We got to go back to that land of crazies.
Oh, I love the land of crazies. It makes me feel normal.
Oh, okay.
He's with his people.
Anyways, let's go into Zi-O. Whoops.
Should have turned that speaker off.
Okay, so Zi-O episode 28.
Schwartz is behind everything.
Why am I not fucking surprised?
Right.
So remember that guy who spoke to Sogo when he was a kid? Yeah, it was Schwartz.
It was Schwartz.
He was the one who made Sogo you should be king.
Just real quick, say something from your yard. Just want to make sure the recording's working.
I am speaking.
Cool. All right, proceed. So yes, point of clarity I wanted to make. Last week we were all saying something about now that actual Waz, now that actual Waz is Kamen Rider Waz, that the rim around his helmet was black instead of white. I actually went back and looked, and it is not. It is exactly the same color.
I guess that was just us.
We are idiots.
Thinking it was like that.
Is it kind of an example of the white dress versus the blue dress thing? And just how you see it?
Basically.
No, it's not that at all.
See, bunch of people in our Discord right now going, "What? Surprise! The main villain is the main villain." Yeah, but realistically, Schwartz isn't necessarily the main villain.
It's more of a case of Schwartz was more of the villain than we assumed, because we've been led the entire show that Zi-O and the Time Jackers as a whole were the villain, and as we've been sort of hinted at over the course of the series, it's clear that Wool and perhaps Aura are just being sort of jerked around by Schwartz.
Well, he's the tallest and most evil looking of the group. So.
Yep.
Not that
and he's got a hat that deflects beams.
Oh gosh, I forgot about the hat.
God.
Fucking.
Yeah, I've been very much operating under the assumption that Zi-O was the big villain of the series. So
and that's exactly what they wanted us to think.
And realistically, the Time Jackers were just another side group who were trying to stop him from doing what he was doing, but they also had a little less moral ground in the way they were doing things. So not really villains per se, just...
They've always felt more like, as we've been sort of learning about them, it felt like they were... It felt like Zi-O was the looming darkness, and they were like the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't want Zi-O to rule, we want to rule. So it felt like fighting two sets of villain factions. Even though they were never technically fighting Zi-O except for those 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but we did see Sogo as a kid. He's fucking powerful because he yelled out for these rocks not to fall on this kid,
and it actually made letters come out of it.
And then they froze, and then he looked at one of the time machine evil robots,
and it
just disintegrated. So Sogo's powerful.
Sogo has some sort of dormant in it power set.
He's Gohan.
God damn it!
He's fucking Gohan. He just has all this hidden power and potential. He just hasn't fully unlocked it yet.
So
just now he's acquired the ability to manipulate time at will. He just hasn't fully mastered it yet.
Zi-O-han.
He doesn't actually have to be transformed in order to use that, apparently.
Mm-hmm. So as we can see through this section here, we can confirm that Schwartz, in his weird hat and jacket, was the person who spoke to Sogo in the dream that he talked about earlier that inspired him to become king.
A dream, but actual. This is what happened.
Yeah.
Premonition or
it's easy to figure out that after it happened and he brought them back, Sogo just shrugged it off as, oh, it must have been a dream.
Must have been a dream when the bus crashed.
Well, yeah, because
you know what's not a dream? My dead parents.
Right.
What Tsukasa was saying to Soup was just it's oh yeah, he put them all back to where the accident happened, and they're just all.
I think that's kind of lazy, where we find out that he brought them back just from a throwaway line from Tsukasa instead of actually seeing Schwartz beam them back. That felt a little lazy.
Well, we saw Schwartz do something. I mean,
I feel like what he did was awaken like his dormant ability again, much like Gohan,
or proceed to erase his memories of the last few minutes, so he just thinks that it was a bus crash.
Just want to see Schwartz
and the dream.
Yeah,
I just want to see Schwartz just like.
But although
dodge.
Although, as I was saying to Danny over there earlier, he may have also done something to Sogo's head. Which, to more to the theory of you were mentioning before, where Schwartz is Oma Zi-O. Maybe he did something to take over Sogo's body.
Yeah. So maybe it turns out that Oma Zi-O was Schwartz in Sogo's body.
Oh my god.
That actually would make sense. Remember when you said that, like, you were thinking maybe it was his belt or something?
The belt becomes sentient because Oma Zi-O is the voice of the belt?
Yeah, that maybe it is, in fact, some kind of mind transfer thing, just like that, just not with the belt.
Oh my god.
Maybe. Interesting. Yeah. So we cut back to Woz fighting Gates Revive, and after enough time passes, Gates just, untransforms because the fighting is weakening him. And what really got creepy is that we see Gates bleeding out his fucking eyes.
Yeah, no.
That's one step up from the blood from the mouth and blood from the nose.
Yeah.
From the eyes.
So we can tell that like Woz like transforming into Kamen Rider Woz, like he knows that he used the system. It's just Gates was more powerful, so he like
absolutely
he still couldn't overpower Gates Revive, but he wasn't trying to.
But then and then Gates was like,
"Haha, my plan was to weaken you, bitch."
Gates got injured, and Woz is just like, I don't have to fucking worry about you.
You were going to go kill Wagamao, so I just decided to stall. So
so that
he'd have time to get away, and B, you would weaken yourself. Yep. And Woz is such a fucking master tactician. I love watching him do anything.
But yes, also our as of episode 29, our Wagamo count is at a nice 61.
Oh, I need to keep track. I know there was only one Kyuseishu this episode, but I haven't gotten around to updating my total. I've been slacking. I will make sure to update the Kyuseishu counter. Yes. So, Froz decides to shit stomp Wool because he knows that Wool was involved with Woz stealing his powers.
Oh, I loved that. He just curb stomps him, and he's just like, "You're gonna fucking tell me everything that you just
who were you working with, bitch?"
Yeah, because like he's fucking furious. Like
Rightly
his plans
so.
aren't going right. He got his powers stolen from him, so just like he's pissed. And actually, I kind of like him being like.
Right?
Pissed off. Like, it's interesting.
So
I'm really excited to see what, like, another Woz is going to do next.
Yeah.
Or if he's just going to get entirely erased from existence.
Probably that, eventually.
Yeah, because it's safe to say that our Woz now is going to be Kamen Rider Woz from here on in, so...
Yeah. And the way Schwartz has been talking to Woz, it feels like he's going to be done with him real soon.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh my god.
The problem with White Woz at this point, as far as I'm seeing it, the Day of Oma hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But the minute it does, and Gates Revive doesn't kill Zi-O, White Woz ceases to exist because this entire timeline didn't happen.
Unless he's lying about that also.
Which is also a thing. But he seems incredibly desperate at this point, so it might be.
Yeah, maybe.
He's trying to correct things in a different way.
Yeah.
But what happened in 29 which we'll get to more makes me think that he's kind of rushing into something now because
it's become very clear that White Woz wants Gates Revive to kill Zi-O for more reasons than just stopping Oma Zi-O. And who's to say that's even one of the reasons? He could have just been lying about the whole thing.
We don't have any idea what his plan is at this point.
All we know is that he says that it serves us as well, so he's got accomplices of some sort. Back in his timeline, who knows?
Other Schwartz?
White Schwartz.
Yes.
I found the Schwartz.
Found the Schwartz.
And
I hate it when I get my Schwartz tangled up.
I was just thinking, like, the two of them fight. I see your Schwartz as big as mine.
Here we get my Schwartz twist.
Yeah. The whole Kagedex is asking if the alternate future even actually exists.
I mean, that's where the other riders came from the future.
I was going to comment on that. Now, if Quiz had been in one of Sogo's dreams, I would be agreeing with you because we can safely justify that Shinobi and Kikai were spawned through Sogo's prophetic dreams. But Quiz, straight up, another Woz just brought him through time from the alternate future.
You know what
So the alternate future does exist.
Oh my god, you know what I really want to happen? That'd be fucking awesome. I want a battle between Zi-O and another Woz's Gates Revive. So I want to see like an older version of Gates and just him fighting Zi-O and just him going fucking at it.
Except I don't think that's going to happen because I'm pretty sure the context of White Woz's future is Gates Revive died immediately after beating Zi-O because the power killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because Gates Revive won doesn't mean he survived.
No.
He went out like a martyr, assumedly.
I'm just saying that Zi-O versus Gates Revive would be fucking a sick fight.
Sure. So Tsukasa has a line that he mentions in this episode that he's watching to see if this world should be destroyed or not. And I'm wondering if that is part of someone's plans. It would explain why they even bothered to bring Tsukasa into this storyline.
Yeah, but then that would be Black Woz's plan, because he's the one who alerted them to his existence.
That is true.
And maybe that was a case of Woz wasn't aware of that, and White Woz decided to use that to his advantage?
Maybe.
We're starting to peer back into nothing makes any sense territory.
Yeah, we're just theory crafting at this point, so...
Remember we were talking about something related to this when it was actually on, and I forget.
Oh, yeah.
Someone did art of Zi-O fighting Gates Revive.
Oh my god, cool.
It's JoJo.
Evan, what was the theory you were saying about Woz to me?
Which part? Oh, no, that was something Itchy had brought up before as well.
No, you were saying the theory about Woz to me.
Yeah, but I was repeating it to you. It's come up.
What, the robot thing?
I mean, always possible. But once again, the White Woz being a robot or anything like that was kind of dependent on Kikai, future actually being a thing where robots take over the world.
Yeah.
And maybe White Woz is also one, and that's why. But now it's been made very clear that Kikai was a dream.
Yeah.
That was brought to life by Sogo.
It was like one of the sleeping worlds from Kingdom Hearts.
Honestly, kind of. And I mean, on the other hand, there's also the theory we were talking about before that Woz is literally the book.
Ooh, Woz featuring Kilvis.
That's cool.
Not bad.
I don't think the colors mesh too well, but that's probably what that would look like.
But like, if he's just a projection of the book itself.
Yeah, we've been tossing around the theory recently that Woz might just... his consciousness might be in the book, and his body is just like a projection. And based on something we'll talk about next week, that theory might hold a little bit of water.
Yeah, but then...
I would love it if it was.
But in episode 29, we find out more about him in 2068.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily disqualify our theory.
The actual Woz died.
Yeah, the actual Woz died, and then he...
Oh, that might be it. I like that.
Wait a minute, I get...
So this is like a data copy of Woz, based on it.
The actual Woz died, and Zi-O used his powers to make a book, and made the book into a new Woz, and that's...
With Woz's memories,
yes.
But now he just works for Zi-O.
Yes.
I like that theory!
Oh, that makes sense as to why he's...
Data clone!
That's why he's trying to get Sogo to be
And that's why he bleeds paper!
Yeah.
Oh.
I would not be
if
surprised
that's the case.
Like that is actually true.
That's amazing.
She's starting to like this show. What's happening?
So complex. So yeah, Hiryu as another Zi-O amasses his army of another riders, and they all just roll up into Sogo to stop him from fighting Gates.
Also, can we just mention the fact that I don't think actually got mentioned during the show that should have been obvious, the fact that the guy who is another Zi-O is the kid that Sogo saved in that fucking...
Oh, yeah. So
he's the kid he saved from the rubble.
Hiryu gives Sogo shit for being part responsible, quote-unquote, for their parents dying.
He saved his life, yeah.
Which, I mean, I can understand, but I don't think Hiryu has the full context to make that assumption himself.
Yeah.
But Hiryu apparently wasn't aware that Sogo saved his fucking life.
Because he was unconscious.
Yeah. Yeah, so Zi-O fights a bunch of the other riders, and then he and Gates stumble up to what I assume was their appointed meeting place of Saturn Hall, and they're both so destroyed, Gates from fighting Woz and Zi-O from fighting the other riders, that it feels like they just trudged up there and were like, can we do this tomorrow? I had to fight like 10 guys.
Well, I think that's the interesting thing, because they both realize that, like, okay, we're really, like, fucked up from our fights. Let's just talk it out. So it's just like, so it's just like, so it was pretty much just like, what the fuck's your deal, man?
Blaze, you're right. They did.
No. Tsukasa said that Swartz brought all the kids back to where they came from.
No,
yeah.
Swartz said he brought the two of them back to the bus wreckage.
Oh, because the other kids weren't the candidate for king, so Swartz didn't give a fuck. So he left them in the apocalyptic future to die at the hands of rocks and dinosaurs.
Yes.
Oh.
Yikes!
That happened.
Oh, fuck.
All of the other kids are dead.
I mean, their parents are dead too in the bus crash, so...
Oh, yeah.
So they died in the crash. No survivors.
That's one hell of a quiz to fail.
But there's the thing. The show just kind of glossed over that point. All the parents died on the bus.
They're dead.
But nobody
are dead.
But they didn't. But they got very specific about not mentioning the kids aren't fucking. They got very specific not mentioning that.
Oof.
Which makes me wonder, if Swartz wasn't saving the other kids, why did Hiryu get saved?
Because he figured there was a way to use them.
Because Sogo...
I don't know.
It's because he had enough... It definitely seemed like when he was saving Sogo, he had some level of respect for him. And he might have just said, well, the king saved this kid, so...
I feel like if that was the case, it should have been touched on a little.
You know what? It's entirely possible we get more backstory on Schwartz, because it looks like he's pulling some shit.
Oh, he's definitely got more up his sleeve.
He's been pulling some shit from the beginning.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So yeah, Sogo and Gates are standing at what they assume is like, we're finally gonna do it. We're finally gonna have that Pikachu slap fight from the Pokemon movie.
Oh my god.
Basically. And they fought another Zi-O, and they kicked his ass, and made friends with him.
Well, no, Sogo just told him to... Let go, motherfucker!
No,
I'm thinking about the past.
Before another Zi-O comes in and ruins it, I love that Sogo effectively goes, well, you're my friend, I trust your judgment, so if you actually think I'm gonna become Zi-O, then fucking stab me.
You're my Tomodachi, become my Nakama.
You are my Nakama!
Onegaishimasu.
Yeah, and another Zi-O stumbles in and ruins the fucking moment. And then Gates tries to stop another Zi-O from being a kill-stealing fucktard.
And literally, then we get to see Gates' true feelings, where he's just like, this is the nicest fucking guy I know! He's my friend!
There's no way this is becoming that guy.
Oh my god! We finally have a committed character decision from Gates!
Yep.
28 episodes it took! And finally Gates shows some fucking conviction!
He finally figured it out.
Well,
Thank you! Jesus Christ!
Yeah, he just finally realized that, like, okay, Sogo's a really good guy. So.
Oh my god, my head was swimming watching this fight! Finally, Gates has fucking conviction with something!
Yeah, he finally made a
cares about
goddamn
somebody now.
decision.
He has a heart.
I mean, this doesn't make up for the first half of the show, but it's a step in a good direction.
And Gates' heart grew 2 sizes that day.
I mean, when Soup came in, it was about the romance. That was
sorry, hold on. Oh, you're all talking at once.
Oh, sorry.
Danny?
No, I was saying at one point when Soup comes in, they look like they were about to hug, and I said to Evan, I'm like, she interrupted the bromance.
Yeah, basically. It's like having a good friend moment there, and then just Tsukiyomi just fucking runs in. It's like, wait, I know things!
No.
Don't fight! Don't kill each other! And they just start laughing.
By the way, I love that she comes in, goes, guys, there's explanations for everything, and then proceeds over the next 2 episodes to not explain fucking anything that she saw!
Yeah, basically.
I guess Soup isn't gonna be spilling the soup.
She knows things, but she's
not
answering. She's not telling them any of it for whatever reason. I'm sure she had a conversation with Tsukasa.
Like, why hide it? Why? What does anyone stand to gain from that?
Because she doesn't understand what's going on fully either. Therefore, she doesn't want to start yapping about shit that might be wrong.
Also, she kind of doesn't want to ruin what's going on between Gates and Sogo right now. So she's like, "Oh, we're in a happy moment. Let me not ruin it for everyone right now."
No, but between that and the end of episode 29, like there's in the next episode, there's a moment where she thinks about all the shit she saw while they're at the fucking breakfast table and doesn't tell anyone
because they got interrupted by Kaito.
Anyway, we'll get into that.
That's a weird breakfast
scene. Yeah, so they fight another Zi-O, whatever like that.
And haha, you said he'd never use base form Zi-O again.
But he did.
He did, I know.
And they went all the they went all the rider armors.
All the different armor forms. That was nice to see them again.
Buy our toys! Buy our toys! We still have these for sale!
It was actually pretty cool watching the two of them just actually teaming up properly.
Right?
Well, without turning and bitching at each other and fucking arguing at each other in the process.
No, because
I love it plays in the chat. Oh, they fucking...
No, because in other episodes in the past, whenever Sogo and Gates teamed up, they killed it.
Yeah, they did.
They're a good team.
And then immediately fucking proceeded to argue and yell at each other afterwards. Or during.
Yep.
Or Gates sit back after a minute. It's like, why the fuck did I help you? But yeah, no, it was really cool watching them just team up.
We got to see Zi-O Forza armor, which is one of the most broken armors ever.
And Gates Wizard, which is the only cool form he's got, except for Revive, I guess.
I like Drive. Drive armor's cool. I miss Drive armor, but Gates hasn't used it since he got shit stomped by Decade. So,
what's that? It's like
we also get a really, really nice moment where after they've changed to Zi-O 2 and Gates Revive, where another Zi-O does an attack that is going to effectively kill them, and Zi-O 2 predicts it, and then Gates Revive is able to counter it with his Shippu form. That's actually some really nice teamwork.
Because another Zi-O can also predict Zi-O's moves.
Yeah.
So if Zi-O was the one to try and counter it, he'd see it coming.
So he has Gates do it.
Yep.
That's fucking brilliant. But yeah, so they defeat another Zi-O, and then the watch starts to break, but then it unbreaks.
Yeah,
so some shit be afoot.
I feel like we haven't seen the last of another Zi-O.
Well, of course not.
Like, Kishiryu won't be him, but someone else will.
Fucking Schwartz at this point. Who knows?
Probably.
Ooh.
That would be a nice hint at him being Zi-O.
That'd be neat.
So, yeah. Sogo apologizes. Everyone decides to be friends.
And then Sogo asks Gates, he's like, can you guys come back to my house? Like, we're lonely. Like, you guys are the only real friends I've ever had. And Gates like, fine. So he surprises the uncle, and then the uncle's just like, oh
but I've already found somebody
we found
for
someone
one of
else
the
too.
rooms.
Who? Just was. Hey, how's it going? Sup?
Hey, Gates and Waz can be roomies.
Oh my god, I am so happy about Waz living with them. This is fucking awesome.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And they were roommates.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Yes. I still to this day don't know what that's from, but it cracks me up.
It's from a Vine.
Yes, but it cracks me up every time I hear it.
But yeah, I love that Sogo, effectively is like, if I die, can you, move back and keep my lonely uncle company, please?
So, next episode, we,
It starts with a fucking real-ass breakfast scene. Actually, no, before that, we get to see,
Amane from Blade.
We see actual Jacaranda from Kamen Rider Blade.
Jacaranda!
I feel like this episode was just, custom designed to be Ichi fan service because it is full of so many things that I like.
Oh yeah, episode 28 ended with frickin' seeing Kaito. He was holding his Neo Dien driver, and he's just like, "Oh, what are you up to now, Tsukasa?"
Yeah, I'm back to fuck with you and everyone you know.
Basically.
Remember when I was a part of your past somehow, and then we never went further into that?
So before we go further on the episode, let's keep in mind that the last time we saw Kamen Rider Dien, besides his data clone in the Cho Superhero Tyson film, was in the original Superhero Tyson, where he was piloting Shocker's great evil big machine, and then was rider kicked out of space by Go Bustero wielding Forze's drills on his feet.
Yep.
So he's been stewing for years. He did live.
He lived.
All because
He fell from space back down to Earth and lived.
And all because
took Tsukasa's card and left.
Yeah.
Kaito will live.
Kaito will return.
It's odd how I was typing that down, and I'm like, oh wait, I can speak.
You live. You live.
Yeah, so we see Amane, she's all grown up. She was
actual Amane's actress.
Yeah, because like she was a little girl in Blade, and she like
it's been 15 years.
Yeah, and she like looked up to Hajime pretty much like more so like an older brother, but pretty much senpai.
Like it was full on Onisan.
Onisan senpai noticed me kind of bullshit.
Hooray for Zoidberg.
Oh my god, it's Paul!
It's me!
Hey, Greencaster, what's up?
Greencaster on the show.
Oh
Kenzan.
Boy! What a great occasion! What shall I do? Shall I do some form of comedy sketch or perhaps a dance? I'm gonna take off my boots first.
How about all of the above?
We'll see.
We have Gar on Discord if you want to partake.
Hi, Gar.
Hi.
Speaking of Discord, apparently I'm not and have not been hearing Gar.
Hooray!
Yeah, because keep being inactive.
It's because I'm not talking.
Because I'm muted on the thing I'm actually on, so it doesn't think I'm active.
Yep. Well, what you could do is unmute you and then just lower your mic volume. Anyway, so after seeing Amane in Jacaranda, we see actual Hajime from Blade in his room, and then they do the most hilarious thing where like it shows all the photos scattered around his desk, and then it does that awkward like shift and zoom thing right into the photo, which is a reference to how every episode of Kamen Rider Blade started.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah, I didn't get that, but you told me that that's what it was. So.
For anyone who hasn't seen it, Blade is really good, and it's absolutely a show I would rewatch without a second thought.
Blade is good. It's simple, but it's good.
Blade is like ice cream. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a card
it's
captor
like having
Sakura.
a heaping helping of
Yes,
ice cream with some toppings on it.
For reference, Paul, if you haven't actually seen the episode we're talking about right now is the first of the Blade arc.
Yeah.
And it features actual Blade and actual Chalice.
Yep.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yep. Yes. So, and then we cut to the first breakfast scene featuring our new roommates. Sogo slinks in after having slept in, and they give him shit for it, but he proceeds to counter with, "I graduated, bitch! I can sleep in if I fucking want to."
Yep.
God damn it! I go to work. I pay my taxes. I can sleep in if I want to.
I mean, we don't have evidence that he does either of those.
Right.
He doesn't have a job. He's a Kamen Rider.
Oh.
Which is funny because this is the Blade arc where they were employed as Kamen Riders for the opening bit of the first episode.
Remember in Guy when Armored Rider was a job?
Yeah. Yeah. So this. I don't know who like took over writing the show at this point, if that happened, but Jesus Christ, can this person keep writing the show? Because we proceed to get a real ass sitcom style breakfast scene of everyone sitting around the table and just a stale ass scene of Waz asking Gates to pass him the mustard.
Yeah, he wants
No. Pass me the soy sauce.
I know.
Yes,
Also, I want seconds.
Natto
Please
on
put
the
natto on the rice
and then
some mustard.
on the natto. He's just making him get all of this.
Am I your fucking workhorse?
Yes, you used to be.
Chop chop. You will obey your captain. And yeah, this episode finally gives us something we've been aching for: actual context on their relationship. And so it turns out that Waz was actually part of the Zi-O resistance at one point.
And he was the captain of Gates' unit.
So
he he apparently went undercover to work for Zi-O to gather information so they could plan an ambush, and then gave everybody false information, and Zi-O wiped out the whole fucking resistance, and that was the first episode of the show.
And Soup specifically mentions that they don't know what happened between Waz and Zi-O, so that's why I think
we have our weird theory now that
our earlier theory
copied him and that he had killed the real Waz,
and that the Waz we know is a data clone spawned from the book he's carrying.
Is this Rider or Terminator? What the
Right. A little bit of both.
Rider-nator.
Rider.
I mean, we're talking about people who came back from the future to kill the guy before he could go on to become.
So yes, it's Kamen Rider Terminator.
So you're right.
Have you seen this Rider?
Come with me if you want to live.
Come with me if you want to ride.
Was literally the first thing I said when Soup opened up her fucking thing to save Zi-O.
So
Come
as
with
they're
me if you don't want to die.
Toku is weird.
So as they're having this breakfast, they notice that the food tastes uncharacteristically good, and they go to thank the uncle, who, by the way, is not in the house at all, so who knows if Kaito fucking killed him or something. Right. And then they find out that Kaito Daiki, Kamen Rider The End, has just snuck his way in here and cooked them all breakfast as
and then stole all the ride watches.
No, he did that first.
As a smokescreen to cover his escape with their ride watches.
Everybody was too confused as to who this random-ass person was in their house cooking them breakfast to notice that he had stolen all their shit before walking out completely unchallenged.
I would love to imagine that, like, Kaito came in before any of them were awake, saw the ride watches and stole them, and then, for some reason, just for shits and giggles, decided to cook them all breakfast.
Yep.
Completely unnecessarily.
It looks pretty good too.
And he
he stole all their ride watches.
Yes.
I figured this is fair payment.
No, literally everybody at the table was too fucking confused as to who this random ass person was who just cooked them breakfast in their house to notice the fact that he had stolen all of their shit before walking out completely unchallenged.
I mean, that's a pretty good strategy, I guess.
Yes.
He just cooked them breakfast in like a reciprocation
fancy breakfast.
I'm stealing all your shit.
Like
here's a really good breakfast.
Here's a breakfast I slaved over for probably an hour or two before you guys woke up.
Wait,
so now,
hang on.
So now I'm wondering if, like, he just walked in and did this on his own, or maybe if he walked in while Uncle was, like, Junichiro was around, and he was like, "Oh, another friend, customer, come in, come in."
Probably, he does that.
And then just fucked off. I don't know, but I accept either canon.
Yeah, I liked it when they went to go fight Kaito or whatever like that. They just, like, take out their ride watches as if they're actually there, and you see like Gates do like the motion of like twisting it and clicking it, and then Sogo's face like, shit.
It's funny because like Gates does that, but Sogo doesn't.
No,
so I feel like maybe that was an ad lib.
Yeah.
But they both go to do their henshin pose and pull out the thing and just do their thing, just to realize there's no ride watch in their hands.
They also haven't put on their belts, so I don't know if maybe like they still have their drivers.
Yeah.
Or maybe the drivers only exist when they have the ride watches?
I don't know.
That's a whole other question. But what's funny is, like, as they all run out after him, a couple of things. First off, you can see, if you pay attention to the background, you can see Waz's face. He gives zero shits that all these are stolen. Which, A, illustrates that he's not worried because his didn't get stolen, which is a whole other question. But B, why does he not care when Sogo needs to assemble all these ride watches? So they're kind of integral. But yeah, and also apparently at some point after running out of the house, but before they run into Kaito, Sogo somehow changes out of his pajamas into regular clothes.
Somehow.
It does look like he just sort of threw them on, but it still seems a little bit strange.
That's an interesting title for that YouTube video. What? The legendary stalker The End appears.
Someone subbed the video from Inoue's YouTube channel where they talk about The End showing up in Zi-O. Oh, I'm gonna watch that later.
Yeah, no, that sounds cool.
I'm gonna watch that later. But yeah, so...
The show is weird.
Oh, yeah. Oh. And this is where the show is getting good, and that really tells you something.
What?
This show has been, like, more or less a steaming pile of shit from the beginning. And it's starting to get good, and, like, they've actually figured out what they're doing with it.
And yet this...
Because now they got rid of the whole bullshit, oh, the timelines get erased, and now they're just, no, the writers are just the writers.
Yeah.
So thank God.
Yeah.
So
This is
Sogo and Gates catch up to Kaito, and Waz shows up, and Gates,
I'll take care of this.
Gates tells Waz to go get the ride watches back, and he tells him to fuck off.
And then Sogo goes, just fucking do it. And he's like,
wow, what a bossy Mao.
You're an asshole demon king.
And then Waz decides to go full styling and just does the most amazing one-handed henshin.
Styling over his balls.
Like, he slams the driver on, just UIs his fucking hand, and then slams the belt on, and then just immediately pulls his hand out so he can grab the weapon when it appears in his hand.
It was
holy hell.
Like one motion.
This is the Waz I want. This is the Waz I deserve. This is the Waz we needed.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
So, and then we get to see Kaito with his Neo Dien driver turn into Kamen Rider Dien. And it's been a long time. I missed seeing this motherfucker. But he's back, and he's got some new tricks.
Neo barcode head.
Yes.
Oh.
Itchy. Yeah,
It's like, and he's got some new tricks, like fucking turning invisible and leaving.
Except it's Neo Invisible now.
Wait.
Oh no!
Neo Invisible. Oh wait! It's almost like he does that frequently.
I meant that he's summoning Neo Heisei Riders.
Evan, does he still suck donkey dick?
The sign is the same as ever.
What?
Yeah.
But does he still suck donkey dick as a rider?
He summons other riders and fucks off. So yeah.
It's just like, oh, fuck it.
I got what I want, fuck you.
He just throws things at things and runs away. Like, it's funny.
But yeah, so I guess I don't know if he didn't or couldn't, but by merit of Waz being able to transform, Kaito didn't get Waz's ride watches, which is weird considering we find out shortly after that that's what he was fucking sent there to do. White Waz recruited Kaito to steal the Waz powers back from Black Waz.
And then the best part was he's like, I don't see my watch here, and he's just like. He's like, yeah, I steal what I want, and if you want it so badly, you can get it yourself.
I didn't want yours. Well, fuck you.
And no, and he clearly tells him, he's like, if you want it so fucking badly, get it yourself. And then Waz just like...
Kaito is nothing but a bunch of fucking hypocrisy, because he says he only steals what he wanted, so he didn't get what White Waz wanted, but he did steal all the other ride watches, and happily surrenders the Zi-O 2 and Gates Revive ride watches to White Waz. So he stole only what he wants, but he happily surrenders it to White Waz, even though it wasn't what White Waz wanted. So he's just here to fuck with everybody!
Which is why he sucks donkey dick.
Yeah.
Like, for real, he's a terrible character.
Oh, that's cool. Multi-Rel posted a shop image of a Kamen Rider Mage card.
Arc where he redeemed himself or anything like that.
No, the last time we saw him, he was pissed off about getting tricked by Decade, summoned a giant robot, fought them in space, got kicked out of the robot, back down to the planet, and fucked off for 5 years.
He's literally just a dick sneeze. Why are we so a dick sneeze?
Kamen Rider Dick Sneeze!
Sure.
What?
Yeah, no.
Don't think about it too hard.
The last time we saw Dien, he ended up being final villain in a really, really shitty movie, even by Toku standards.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
That's why the acronym. That's why the acronym of the movie is shit.
Yeah.
Superhero Tyson.
Yeah, but no.
There's no I there though.
Focus?
Close enough.
You still pronounce it shit.
Shit.
Oh, shit.
And then there was the sequel, Shits.
Oh, sorry about that.
Hey, I like Superhero Tyson said.
Oh, Gar's talking.
Yeah. That's why I asked if you wanted to get on Discord.
I'm okay.
Alright. But yeah, so Dien summons Knight and Baron, which is a neat combo. As we can see, he now has access to the Neo Heisei Riders because he's got his Neo Dien driver, even though, just like with Decade, we have absolutely zero fucking explanation for it.
That's why I want there to be a V cinema.
Ladies and gentlemen, some asshole upgraded their drivers.
It was Naritaki!
Fucking
That's
why
what I
not
said in the
this one?
chat like a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been anyone.
It
could have been Gorgo.
They aren't different. I mean, aside, that. Yeah, I was about to say, Blaze like, they're different. I was about to say, no, they're a different color now. And then Blaze said it, and like, oh, well, yeah.
They have new cards! Where did they come from unless they got an actual upgrade?
Visited the other Neo Heisei worlds.
Can we see that, please?
Yes, exactly! V Cinema! I want to get Neo Decade V Cinema!
V Cinema, coming under Decade 2.
Decade plus the end.
We won't ever get a Decade Season 2, but if they can make a fucking new movie, it'd be
I would
awesome.
love them, like, just V Cinema, Kamen Rider Decade plus the end.
Yes!
Or versus the end, whatever.
Yes! And we just go through the various Neo Heisei worlds.
It's not the same, Blaze! It's got new powers and it's color different! That counts as being different!
I own one now, and I'm getting it soon, and it's gonna be fucking awesome.
I'm getting the DN driver. We're gonna do double engine, and you're not invited!
Yeah. Ginga ass loving motherfucker. Just kidding, Ginga's cool. Blaze is just like, ah!
So, Swartz apparently gives the Another Blade ride watch to White Waz, who decides to give it to Amane, who turns into another Rider Blade. Jesus, is this thing stacked?
They're gonna fight and the paint is gonna come off and be embarrassed that they just painted their own drivers. Wait, is that just your older? No!
No. Stop looking at my belt!
Painting it? You're painting it right now! No, I'm not! Yes, you are!
It's just a card paint ride.
God, Vegas, that's pretty good. Decade V Cinema, the actual ending this time, we promise.
I'm down. Let's do it.
What happened what happened after Kaito shot him in the face?
I will be so okay with that if that actually happens, as so long as we get an actual explanation about who the fuck Narutaki is.
Well, apparently they on the Blu-rays of Decade, they gave us the director's cut to the final episode, so we need to fucking watch that.
There was actually a novel that they put out where they explained what Narutaki was. I just don't remember it.
Fucking...
Someone has to check his wiki article.
I'll check his wiki article.
I remember reading that, and I talked about it with you guys in the chat weeks ago.
But yeah, so, he summons Kamen Rider Knight, Kamen Rider Baron, because night motif, so...
Yep.
I think I would have preferred Brave, honestly. I think Brave would have been funnier.
That would have been cool.
That would have been really cool.
Although this was just to illustrate that he has access to both the Heisei and Neo Heisei riders.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he summons Knight and Baron and then fucks off with Neo Invisible.
You know, as he does.
Yeah. As a DN do. And then, yeah, we get to see Another Blade, who, because it was created in this time and not the year the show aired, actually says 2019 on its back, which actually gives us an explanation why Another Zi-O says 2019. So the year on the armor is whatever year they were spawned in, not the year the power set is from.
Yep.
Then why did Ryuga still have 2002
Because
if it was the Ryuga of now?
It wasn't. It was created in...
No, it wasn't.
Fuck!
Right? No, that's a very good point.
Because Mirror World! I don't fucking know!
Exactly.
Ah!
Because Mirror World.
God, I forgot about that.
And the year on another quiz.
And Ichi hates Zi-O again.
And Blaze is pointing out the year on another quiz said 2040, even though it was created modern day.
Oh, that's interesting.
And Shinobi was the same, I think.
To quote George Clooney, there's this, or not George Clooney, but Batman, there just raises too many questions.
I tried to give you some credit, Zi-O, but you fucked it up! Anyways, so Another Blade is attacking photo studios because she's looking for Hajime.
Hajime-san.
Wouldn't it have been funny if she attacked the Hikari photo studio, the one from Decade?
Sure.
And then that's just where
the end. Huge freaking TARDIS.
Right?
The house-sized TARDIS.
Yes. The house.
House-sized TARDIS.
The Tard House. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of our house.
The house in the middle of our house?
Yeah, like the Game Room studio. Yeah. So we get to see a comment from White Waz where he says that if he doesn't get the ending he wants, then he's going to let the world be destroyed. So he clearly has a lot more involvement in what's going on, but we don't really have much more info than that. So yeah, Zi-O fights Another Blade and counters it with Gaim, which is an interesting choice because swordsman.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we see Waz fighting the end to get the Gates watch and the Revive and Zi-O 2 watches back. And the end answers that fight with Excel and Birth.
Yay, Excel! Because he says like, "Oh, let's see if you can counter
You're very
these."
mobile. Here, I'll counter your mobility with these.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Excel, sure.
What makes
Birth?
What makes Birth mobile?
I'm surprised they didn't just bust out birthday form, like the fucking caterpillar tracks.
Should have just done laser.
We don't
or
have.
something.
We don't have the suits for that.
Man.
Oh yeah, it's Naruto and his puppet from the Tokuchi Gaim special.
Yep. And then in a move I genuinely would have bet money against, we actually see Excel shift into his actual bike form.
I loved that. That was awesome.
That was cool.
What is it with people turning into bikes?
It's Kamen Rider.
So
I guess their
it's
bikes
meta.
are Kamen Riders.
So then, like, Woz had this plan the whole time to, like, get Gates' ride watch back, and Gates just wasn't falling for anything he was doing because he just knew Woz was full of shit. And
He was going to use him as bait.
Yeah. And so, like, Diane's just like, wow, like, you guys are good allies. And he's just like, he's not my ally. He's my roommate.
I love that line. Yeah, and we also get to see Hajime just roll up and transform into Chalice and use fucking spinning dance. That was great.
Yep.
And
then Blade shows up.
And he's like, Chalice, the fuck!
You son of a bitch!
I've been living in the woods for 15 years, giving up my humanity for the sake of sealing you and the other undead away. So why the fuck are you out and about? You bitch!
Piece of shit.
Using your powers.
Also, if you see it, Kanzaki's still wearing the same outfit from the finale of Blade.
I figured that's what it was. It did look pretty ragged. That's a really, really nice touch.
That's really good. Huh.
Yeah.
So then he henches into Blade.
Something I noticed about if henching into Blade is if you pay really close attention, you can see where they've edited it, because Blade and his suit actor aren't exactly the same height.
Also, the Blade helmet's, like, yellowed a bit, which sucks.
Noticeably.
And then he has, like, a purple undershirt.
Yeah, like, it's straight up just a purple shirt under the Blade chest plate. Oh, and what's this? This is Woz featuring Glaive in our chat.
Ooh, that's nice.
Not bad. I think I want to see Woz featuring Lance, because that's also green. It'll look really nice.
Lance. Huh. He died.
Yes, Scar.
Yes, he did.
So Deanne and Gates have a shootout, which is pretty cool. And then Gates does his time burst with targeting Excel, and
he like squishes Birth and Excel together.
Like he like magnetizes them together in order to knock them both out with one kick. That was fucking badass.
Yeah.
And then the episode ends with White Woz walking by with the Zi-O 2 and Gates ride watches. And apparently, through some freak accident, he holds them out and spawns the Trinity Watch.
Really weird.
Before we go off of Zi-O, we have to talk about one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that we were discussing a little bit more exactly how White Woz's book works.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because he was pissed off that like he didn't get his powers back, so then he just like literally just wrote in his book just. And Black Woz goes to fight the end again.
And I like that for some reason, even though it's a nickname that Sogo came up with, the magical objective time tablet accepts that Black Woz means that Woz.
Because Sogo's the fucking ruler of time.
And
Not in his timeline.
And we were just talking about like he could write literally anything in that book. He could write, and then suddenly he poops his pants.
Yeah, like we touched on
and
this.
Suddenly Black Woz shit his pants.
Basically.
17 times.
You just see him there like, ugh. Oh shit.
Wagama, no!
And he enjoyed it.
Oh.
Like, he can write anything there.
Yeah, like, we talked about it a little bit when White Woz showed up, about how he has this magical cheat shit tablet that he doesn't use anywhere near as much as he could be. And just thinking about the kind of stupid shit that he could write in there and make happen is just mind-boggling.
Like,
well, maybe
he just write, and then my savior kills Zi-O at the end.
It's probably safe to assume he just can't use it too much because I fuck with time way too much.
And then Godzilla showed up and killed everyone.
Because clearly the man from the alternative future is worried about fucking up the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what he's here for.
Anyways,
And then Zi-O left planet Earth for no reason.
Forever!
And you see Sogo suddenly just rocket off into the sky. My planet needs me!
Sogo died on the way back to his own planet.
So next week...
Because you can't breathe in space.
Next week we get the debut of Zi-O Trinity, and oh my god.
We actually saw a clip of the Zi-O Trinity Henshin right before we started this recording.
Oh boy!
Oh my god, you're not gonna want to miss next week's episode.
Yeah, really.
I do.
Oh. Vegas just pulled up the explanation of Narutaki.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh.
What if Narutaki is Omazeo?
No.
I would love that!
Just suddenly, like, Omazeo and Mess, it's just Narutaki.
Ah!
Oh no, Edgy Kaito!
Oh no, Zi-O!
God. Apparently, Narutaki is a vampire.
Who survives off the energy of Kamen Riders.
Which would explain why
Where's
he's
that
pissed
link
off
that I
for
had?
decades, supposedly ending them all.
But anyways, kaboom!
We got really fucking dark in episode 3 of this kid's show.
Yeah,
God, yeah.
So Yui's like really sad. She's like
Yeah.
very depressed. She's like suicidal a little. Well, not.
Well,
I don't think she has
well.
been suicidal. I think she realized with the situation she was in that was one of her options she had to do.
Yeah. So long story short, at the end of episode 2, there was a shot of Creon sneaking up behind Ui after she recorded the Zord fight. And we didn't really get to see last week what happened there. This week we understand. They made a fucking Minosaur out of her.
Did you
So-
something?
I call her evil baby Bob. That's what
Oh
she
yeah.
Oh, God.
But yeah, apparently Creon is female.
Yeah.
According to what I've heard.
Oh.
That's why I call her evil baby Bob. That's what she reminds me of. If baby Bob snapped.
Yeah, Kaguya's got a good point. Episode 1. Well, 3 people died in episode 1, actually, Kaguya. All 3 masters died.
No, he said 1 died, 2 got vaporized.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. And episode 3. So, nobody died in episode 2?
No,
You
no
know,
one died in episode 2.
I'd assume the people in those buildings probably didn't fare terribly
That.
well.
I was gonna say that.
Because they made it very clear, those buildings are still occupied. And
It was not Sunday.
They destroyed a lot of buildings.
And there were definitely no parachutes.
I feel like we should have waited to do this story a little later. Maybe to see if people care about Ui enough to be invested in this plotline. Because
let's develop her a little first and make people actually like her before we do
I've liked her
this.
since she first showed up, so...
you are not everyone, though,
I know,
right?
I know.
People like me, I'm not saying I'm the majority or anything, but she's been kind of a grating presence.
Oh.
Yeah, Kaguya, I'm on the same
You
note.
just don't
I
like her
care
because her
enough.
phone ring is her going...
That's dumb, but that's not why I don't like her.
Fuck you, I love it, it's adorable. I love you.
I think the thing I didn't like, it's like her personality was like too much. It was like too extreme. It's like there's no middle ground. It's like from one extreme to another.
Well, that's the thing. So, like, what we found out about her character essentially is that, like, you know, she's very lonely. Her father doesn't pay much attention to her, like he used to when she was a little girl. And she does YouTube and stuff to kind of like keep her mind off of it,
get people to look at her,
and you know, like her and stuff.
And the weird part about that is usually when you see stories like that, you can clearly see the father being like negligent and such. But when you see him talk to her, it doesn't really seem like he's like noticeably negligent, because like he seems to be friendly to her and like it's not like he's ignoring her or anything. He's just like, oh yeah, hello.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. He makes mention that he's they mention he's an archaeologist, and he mentions numerous digs that he was a part of where he found the temples.
But
chances are he's not negligent. He just hasn't been around a whole lot because he's been off doing the archaeologist thing.
But it kind of, I think there was a mention that she would go on those with him, though.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not really very well explained, but we're led to operate under the assumption that she's lonely, and I mean, we don't know that she has any.
And she's a really shitty editor.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily shitty editor, just her videos are shit, as we've been led to believe.
Yeah, poor Co.
I mean, like, she films a Zord fight. What kind of editing do you need to do to that?
Everything.
But the main focus of this episode also is we get the debut of RyusoulGreen and Ryusoulger Black, Toa and Bamba. And I will say, Toa is a fucking douchebag!
See,
I hate
Kaguya,
it.
Yeah.
I was holding off on that one, but yeah, no, she's
No,
she is female Japanese Logan Paul.
No, we are not going
You're
there.
not comparing her to that piece of shit.
Nothing she's done could possibly have gone that far.
In the first episode, she was in the suicide forest.
Okay, that part is true.
Okay, moving on!
But she wasn't
filming a fucking corpse in there!
doing anything
She
related
could've been.
to actual suicide.
I'm sure she has fucking common
She's
sense!
pretending it
We
was the
don't know
Amazon
that.
rainforest. That was it.
So she was just pretending it was a completely different forest.
Moving on! Anyways.
So yeah, Toa's an asshole.
Okay, I think I'm going to like Toa.
Yeah, I know you are.
Here's the thing. Yes, they're pricks to the others, but they're right on the point that they are better Ryusoulgers than them. What I don't agree with, which no one should agree with, is the whole, yeah, you spawned the Minosaur, so we're gonna stab you!
Yeah, so like when after the fight or whatever like that, just Bomba just goes about to fucking kill you, and I was like, no!
I love how he actually tries to do that with the others, in range. Like, obviously they're gonna stop you, asshole!
I wonder genuinely if they have killed people.
No,
they probably have!
Oh,
this is the thing they've been doing.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, no.
Here's the problem. Fighting the thing when it's weak and regular sized is what they've been doing. But they don't have their Zords.
Actually, I think it didn't, in the first episode, wasn't that the first Minosaur?
They were off training somewhere.
Yeah, but they weren't killing people.
Well, yeah.
The Minosaurs weren't the thing.
In episode 2, when they showed up, they
However,
were training.
If that Minosaur was at full size, that means
they've
that person
mentioned
who it was made from is dead.
But here's the thing. They've mentioned it. They mentioned, oh, hey, we're experienced. We know what we're doing. Trust us kind of people. And this was what they jumped to. When they were fighting the actual monster, yeah, if we can kill it now, easy, whatever. The minute it grows, they don't have their Zords.
Yeah.
The minute it grows, the only way to kill these things is to fucking kill a guy.
So, I don't think we can conclusively say that they've murdered people. I think that...
I bet you they have.
They came to that conclusion, but there weren't any Minosaurs before the show started. We can't say for sure what happened to whoever the fuck spawned the first one, but I don't think we have enough evidence to conclusively say that Toa and Banban murdered them, because if they had done so, then the monster wouldn't have been a thing. Because if the monster grew big, then it's complete, and there's no need to kill the person anymore.
Question. First episode.
Answer.
Wasn't necessarily the first Minosaur. All we know is that's the first one that found their base.
So what the hell did the others do?
We don't know how long the villains have been back on Earth. The first episode is just when they found the temple.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna let you have that one.
And Black and Green have been out and about doing whatever for a while and seem to be a lot more experienced and know more about these things than the three of them.
Okay, I grant you that. It's very possible that they've murdered people.
It is very possible.
And maybe that's why giant Minosaurs haven't happened before the show.
So they're like the Go Riders then from Hurricane.
Yeah, kinda. But I kind of like Toa. He's got a snappy attitude, and he's not entirely unjustified in it. Again, I don't agree with the stabbing bit, but they've got attitude, they've got skills, and they back up their claims. Also, I really like that Toa kind of seems like a younger Taiga from Exade. Not even just the way he talks, but his face and his eyes, the attitude he gives them just screams early game Taiga. Banba seems to be the type of person who speaks as few words as possible, but makes a big impact.
I have one emotion.
serious.
Yeah, no, like, as much as I didn't like what he was trying to do to Yui, I feel like Bamba's gonna be my favorite, just because I like how serious he is. And I know he's gonna have a hilarious moments where, like, there's gonna be an episode where just, like, Ko hangs out with them or something like that, and just, like, Ko will bring out, like, his more kind of, like, funny side or something, and just, like, he'll make Bamba, like, lighten up a bit sometimes, so...
I feel like there will be some good comedy moments with him. Probably few and far between, but I expect some.
He is the Drax of the group.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I also really like that Toa just straight up has a Legend of Zelda tunic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's Link. Put a fucking Link hat on and he's Link.
Yep.
I honestly thought I was gonna like Toa, but I think it's more or less I like his Ranger design.
Yeah, RyusoulGreen's pretty cool. I like Ryusoul Black's design a lot. But I'm holding out hope that Blue will develop. And he kind of does this episode.
Yeah, so the mini story that we got this week, and I hate that they're just probably going to continue the whole, like, faces on the chest thing. I fucking hate that.
Probably.
Stupid.
It seems to just be the theme of the Minosaurs, though.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what they remind... You know what, the Medusa one reminded me of?
Mm.
It reminded me a bit of the, one of the Master Orgs from Gal Ranger and Wild Force. Yeah. It was like the third Highness Duke with the mouth on its
I know
face.
who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I just don't remember their name.
I can't remember his name either at the moment.
Kagedex, please don't. I really hope Banba doesn't get as bad as Gunpei.
I don't know who that is.
From Goanger.
Gunpei is Gohan Black, where he started off very serious, but as the show went on, he became a comedic joke.
Well,
I just dislike Gunpei because he was a police officer or something, and he literally ran up to the Goangers and was like, "You guys suck. You don't deserve powers. Give me powers. I'm taking your powers. Now I have powers. You guys still suck."
And then we found out he wasn't even a cop. He was lying.
Good. Oh, good! So I can hate him completely justified.
Yep. He should get arrested for that.
Fucking fun. So I really, really, really hope Banba doesn't turn out to be the same kind of character.
I'll be fine if he is.
I mean, the two of them do kind of have that, oh, you don't deserve to be Ryusoulgers like us thing, but they're not super explicit about it. They're just saying, yeah, you guys suck, we're better.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it now.
They're the misfit soldiers.
Even though we're only 3 episodes in, I can't feel it. Like, for some reason, it feels like something's missing from this show.
Yeah, every time I'm watching,
it doesn't feel like Sentai.
I'm hopeful. I kind of like where this is going so far, and I'm looking forward to more.
I mean, you know what, Gar? That might just be because the whole team hasn't been fully
assembled yet. We're still in setup here. But yeah, so Green and Black are the misfit soldiers. Our souls are better. 10 points for that reference?
No.
Emily? Did you get it?
I unfortunately was a little bit spaced out there.
I said that Green and Black are the misfit soldiers. Their souls are better.
I swear to God, that sounds super familiar.
It's Gem.
Oh my God, it's Gem!
We are the misfits. Our songs are better.
Because I was thinking, I can hear the tune, and I was just thinking, what are the real lyrics? I love how blatant that is, though, that they just literally sing, our songs are better.
Yeah, fuck them.
They might as well just say, we're evil.
Yeah. We are antagonists.
They kind of do, but...
Yeah. Yeah, so the monster of the week spawned from Ui's loneliness is a Gorgon, or Medusa, whatever you want to call it. And it wants people to look at it like she wants her dad to look at her, or wants her audience on YouTube to look at her, you could argue.
Attention deficit disorder.
I don't know if it's that.
No, it's not just ADD, she just wants to be loved and appreciated and noticed.
Why won't you look at me? Just gives me flashbacks to Adelie from .xu. Yeah, so the monster she spawned just goes around getting people to look at it. And, after they figure out what's going on, they fight without looking at it, but there's a good amount of time where they're fighting it as if it was not affecting them. So I feel like they could have easily fought it without focusing on its weird nipple eyes.
Right.
But yeah, like, so Ko looks at the eyes and gets turned into stone, and that's how they figure out not to look at her. So then they just, like, awkwardly flail their swords around like fucking morons.
Hey guys, I think I'm getting it. You're hitting a tree. Oh.
Shit.
Just cut down the rest of the tree.
So that's when Black and Green show up. They blind it with Mabushi's soul, and then pull out their signature ones, Haya soul and Kata soul, and fight it off. and like,
okay. Vegas Bear just said the best thing.
Oh god.
He saw boobs and got hard.
No!
Unfortunately, I cannot refute that. Look at my boobs!
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I'm
Okay.
sorry about the random tangent. It is related.
Okay.
But, because I wasn't here last week, and that was the first real Minosaur encounter, aside, like, when we actually saw how they were made.
Yeah.
And I hope it isn't egregious of me to mention Precure again, but
Go ahead.
the way the Minosaurs work, especially the way that they repeat a certain word or phrase that is related to the desires of the person they're made from, and how they're made out of, like, the negative energy of that person, they're freaking Desertorians from Heartcatch. They work almost exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Including having one of the early episodes have one of the main characters become one. That's interesting.
You know,
I don't think it was on purpose, though.
I think that's what's missing. Just the whole interaction with the monsters of the week.
Well,
because they're not really focused on fighting. It's just they're focused on one goal.
Yeah, they're doing a thing. They're not trying to fight.
Yeah, so there's no banter between the fight.
But that sort of leads to what I was going to say next is what's really interesting is that Creon and Tank Joe are like in the fray fighting as well. It's not just fighting the monster of the week and the mooks. Tank Joe and Creon get involved, and I really like that, and I hope that stays a consistent.
Until Tank Joe dies in like episode 6 or something, we get our next general.
Right?
Of course.
No, wait. He's a rook. He's a 10. He'll die in episode 10.
Which means the next one will be Bishop.
And we'll just work our way through. Rook, Bishop, Knight, another Bishop, probably another crappy Rook.
Tank Joe gets revived, so we have another Rook.
Yep.
And then
so
King and Queen will be the last.
Probably.
Then the Queen will probably sacrifice herself for the King.
So Green and Black chase off the monster. Tank Joe dummies blue and pink so they can't go after them. And then we cut back to Ui and her dad's lab house, and apparently they decided to drag the stoned Ryusoul Red back to the lab and then use the Mist Soul to turn him back to normal instead of just doing that first.
Right.
So it can be assumed that they pointlessly...
Sounds interesting. They dragged his stoned ass.
Yeah.
Fucking high son of a bitch.
What is
Smoking
that?
up during our fight.
This Ryusoul Red stoned.
Had to
What?
drag his stoned ass back to the house.
Although, realistically, you know what they probably did since we know it exists? They used the Karu Soul to make him light and then just pushed him home.
Probably.
That just lift him up into the air. Wait a minute, they have a reverse soul.
That too.
So why didn't they just reverse him?
This show will have so many gimmicks that could be of so much utility use that won't actually happen.
That they'll use like one time or twice.
Right.
Hey, that's
We
something
will
else they
never
have
see-
in common with Heartcatch. The heart seeds were power-ups. They use that like 3 times ever.
And just like all recent
Yeah.
Sentai.
Do you recommend Heartcatch after Smile Precure? Because that's my plan for Precure. I
mean-
don't think there's any actual particular order that they go in, with the exception of seasons which are direct sequels to previous seasons, obviously.
I was gonna say, what other order besides chronological order?
Yeah,
what
like
were they airing?
they rarely reference previous series, with the exception of movies and anniversary seasons, which sometimes do.
Yeah.
I watched Heart Catch first and then Smile after, but that's just because I watched them when they aired. I like both of them. In fact, those are probably my favorite too. Hugto's up there too. Hugto was amazing. I don't think any of the seasons are bad though. So there are some people who say some are bad, but I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I apologize. Okay. I'm too optimistic. I don't like criticizing things. I can see something good in everything.
That's fair. So after this,
depends as to which you find. Sorry, which most appeals to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after they thaw out Ryusoul Red, we get the scene where they try to stab Ui, and then they just leave. And Ui apparently hears the speech about, yeah, it's because of the person that they've attached to that the negative emotions are making the Minosaurs grow, so we need to get rid of the human host to stop them from becoming complete.
So, yeah, so she, like, decides to go to the place where she used to excavate fossils with her dad when she was a little girl, and decides to try to jump off into the, like, river below.
Yeah.
And kill herself.
So I was watching that episode earlier, and I'm just watching her do it. It's like, okay, I had a feeling this is where this was going, but holy shit, they're actually going there.
Yeah. And
but on the flip side, isn't this probably the worst thing you could do at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, okay, you're going to kill yourself because if you die, the monster dies. Okay, cool. But that gigantic spike of negative emotions you're about to have before that happens, just watch you throw yourself off, but that spike of negative emotions completes the monster.
Which kind of does happen, because as she's standing there at the edge of the cliff, the monster does grow giant. So yes, in fact, that did happen.
Except not fully completed, because it didn't fully suck her energy dry, but...
Well, it doesn't...
It was about to. But once again, I guarantee you, if she threw herself off...
You know, the pain of dying.
Well, that too, but before she died, I guarantee you, all those negative emotions...
Yeah.
Complete the monster before you hit the ground.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't actually find out any confirmation on that theory.
And there's also on the theory of whether or not, you know, if she did jump, who's saying that she would die?
Oh god, that's really morbid, but you're right.
Yeah, true.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, there is a river below.
I mean, it was water.
Yeah,
there could have been a
really shallow river.
Yeah, it could have been shallow. There could have been a rocky beach area next to it.
Yeah, so Asuna stops her and she goes like, "Where are your friends? We care about you." And like, it flashes back to like Ko saying like, "Don't do that. She's our friend." And
she let us live in her house.
Yeah, and so she's like, "Oh."
For a day.
So Asuna kind of like she like gets knocked out because of like all the negative energy coming out of her to feed the Minosaur, and so Asuna.
And then even though they carried Ko's stone heavy ass home, Asuna decides to leave Ui unconscious there, right next to the cliff she just tried to jump off.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's unconscious, so whatever.
Except she doesn't know that To and Bamba are around.
Mm-hmm. Well, they
ready to cut her fucking head off.
I don't know how the fuck Asuna didn't see them. They weren't hiding at all.
I don't know.
They were slightly out of my peripheral fucking vision.
Like I made the example of Bonbon being the Drax of the group. Just, I was moving very slowly.
Oh yeah. Also, let's talk about
the visibility.
The gigantic logic leap where Asuna sees Ui's missing, talks to her dad. All he says is that she had something to do, and Asuna somehow pieces together exactly where she is.
Yeah, that she's at the site.
How the fuck do you know that?
That's a very good...
I mean, for her, sure, but, you know, the other two, more of a moment for me of, no, they weren't going to let her out of their sight the whole time.
No, yeah, Toa and Bamba probably followed her.
Toa and Bamba, I understand. They probably followed her ass because they weren't going to let her out of their sight because they still said that they were going to have to kill her. They weren't going to let her run the fuck away, no matter what she was trying to do.
But Asuna makes like a 3-point logic shot. Anyways.
Well, that's tomorrow.
So yeah, we cut back to the monster, which is now grown giant, and the most hilarious thing ever. So like anyone within range of the monster is like pointed their phones at it, filming it, and then it decides to use its stoning ability on everyone in the area, which not only turns to stone everyone who's near it, but everyone watching any of the videos being filmed. Holy shit, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Take that, modern technology.
And then they form Kishiryu 3 Knights.
Yeah, and
was cool.
What's neat is Asuna actually names both Ankyros and Triken.
And for some stupid fucking reason, the equipment just knows to call them that.
It just accepts the name entry.
You're like, Amigo!
If they just kind of actually had those names before, but then they like beamed them into the heads of the people, so they thought they came up with them or something.
No,
I don't think so.
I think I don't know. I think they kind of wrote themselves into a corner there.
It's
because apparently Ko named Tiramigo, but then you hear the equipment like his Ryusoul changer go Tiramigo, so it's like.
So the Ryusoulgers have some sort of speech-to-text technology, and they're morphers.
I think they should have just made them because we know they can talk, or like Ko can understand them. They should have just been, oh, his name's Tiramigo. That's Anki Rose and that's Triken. Like he could have just said that in the line. Would have been easy. So,
yeah. And one thing we didn't mention last week is that when they summon their Zords and like go into like battle modes, the Ryusoul actually pulls a fucking Ultraman and just vroom, 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 grows giant and rides them. And I fucking love those effects.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Kishiryu fights the monster by itself for a bit. And then while Toa and Bamba are attempting to stab Ui again, Ankyros and Triken bust out of their caves.
And the two of them are just like, wait, these two actually have their fucking Kishiryu? Okay, well maybe we don't have to kill them.
Yeah. Okay, what did we miss? They went for Starbucks.
That's actually amazing.
Strongest battle MVPs. I love that.
Oh my! I was gonna ask what the sash said because I couldn't see it.
I love that. That's cute. So yeah, apparently seeing their Kishiryu just changes Toa and Banba's minds, and they decide to just bring the unconscious Ui back home.
It's like, wait, these guys actually have a method for fighting the giant monsters? Oh, okay, well that changes everything. We don't need to kill a person if we can actually kill the monster.
Yeah.
That felt like that's what that was to me.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But yeah, so they decide to fight off the giant monster with throwing more gimmicks at it by having Triken dig up the ground, having Ankyros smash it into shards, and then using the Karu Soul to make them float.
And then reforming them into a road that acts as a blindfold?
I feel like we could have just used the shards to stab the eyes out.
That's what I thought they were going for, but
we
so
gotta show off
congrats, the Rangers just put a bra on a monster.
Yes.
A concrete bra.
Yeah. Talking about Iron Maiden, I don't know.
What?
I don't know. But yeah, so we get to see the actual transformation of Kishiryu 3 Knights, and it's fucking badass.
Which now I'm questioning, why was it 3 Knights in the first episode? But
because it was already put
but now
together
they're
when it
treating
came
it
out of
like
the
a
cave.
big thing.
They had to show it off because that's like the main Megazord form. 3 Knights is the equivalent of Go Bustero, whereas Kishiryu is the equivalent of Go Buster Ace. But yeah, they didn't have time to explain it, so 3 Knights just pops out in the first episode for the sake of showing off the Megazord. But now it's like, now we've like formed a bond with our Zord, so now we can do it for real. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I still just feel like this show's missing something.
Well, like I said, we're still in setup, so I feel like next episode going forward is sort of where we've hit our groove.
Yeah.
Hope so.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to more Bamba. I can't wait to see like an episode just where I'm looking forward to him just hanging out with Ko. I hope him and Ko have an episode together. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, and right before the episode ends, we get my favorite moment where they decide to question the powers of the monster of the week. So I get that Ui wanted people to look at her, but why was it turning people to stone? Because Ui's videos are shit. can't fucking believe that was...
Goes watching one of her videos and you just hear like...
And then he falls back on conscious?
And then like Ui just like runs over to him and he's just like, it's like, who did this to you?
It was
That's funny. It was you.
Oh, if you want to watch shit, go watch Ultra Ranger.
Wow, Gar.
Is that reverse psychology?
Show's not shit. It's actually epic.
So yeah, I thought this was a pretty good episode, and I'm really excited to see more of the show.
Judy Hopps and Rocket Raccoon. Oh no,
it's a Hot Fuzz shirt.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Okay.
I just noticed it.
So yeah, anyone else's thoughts on Ryusoulger going forward?
Like I have to agree with Gara. Just like something's off because like I don't know why. Like every time I watch this episode, I'm kind of just like watching it, and then I kind of don't remember a lot what happened. I remembered a lot in this episode just because
we just watched it.
No, but it was because it was a big focus on Yui, and
so
I like her a lot. So
here's my thoughts on this. So far, with this series, it feels like it's rushing the living shit out of itself.
Yeah, there's a lot to set up, and it's doing it
no,
really briskly.
I feel like they did it to themselves too, because as of so far, it's not hard for the Minosaurs to fucking get to their final form. There's like maybe one encounter with the monster in its smaller form, and then suddenly it's big.
I mean, we have to have a Megazord fight. It's Sentai.
Well, yeah, but it's just in other Sentais. Yeah, no, the monster's running around, and they actually have to defeat it first. In this series, they have that one encounter with the monster. They get fucked over by the generals for a second, so the monster gets away, and then the next time they see it, it's already big.
Actually, yeah. Now that you mention that,
there is no defeating the monster first. They just grow.
Oh my god.
That's what's missing.
Maybe.
Oh my god.
That's it.
That's what's wrong with this show.
That's it. Great, you figured it out.
So there's no like Ranger finishers.
So I just.
Oh my
no,
god.
It's not that. There's no Ranger finishers. It's
the
just...
Ranger forums seem altogether pointless at this point. Yeah, because they just show up, they try and fight, they fail, and oh hey look, big monster. Summon the Megazords.
Oh no.
Fucking Yamato.
That's really bad.
I noticed with the show. One being with the Tyrannosaurus.
Tyrannigo?
Yeah.
Or the Kishiryu?
Yeah, it's like at the moment it's only like one person just powering it, and it's always been the red one. But like if it's supposed to be a team thing, like are they gonna eventually have like the team together?
That's what 3 Nights is.
That's what 3 Nights is.
That's Sentai.
It's red, blue, and pink combined.
And as we saw in the preview, next episode is going to be red and green.
Yeah, the black and green Zords aren't even in the show yet.
Yeah, and then the other thing is I don't know what it is they're doing, but Yui, I find if anything is rushed, it's her. Because what I get it from her is she reminds me so much of that chick from the 4-part series, the one where they had to like fight.
Oh, Rita?
Yeah, the Rita chick. Like she was like hyper crazy, wild, all over the place, and then at the end it was like.
And then all of a sudden she was
suicidal, evil, and like fucked up in the head.
Well, not suicidal. She was just like, oh, I want to do good, but I'm doing it in a bad way.
Technically, she was suicidal because she wanted to destroy the entire universe. You know, which
like
herself
Yui reminds me too much of her, and it's like so close after like this happening. So like.
I maintain that Ui's plot arc of her being depressed and all that should have been saved for further down the line when we got to know her better.
Yeah,
this was way too soon.
At this point, it almost sounds like they're setting her up to be like a villain or like a big monster in the show.
No, not even. They already just did that. The problem here is, and like this episode felt like it should have been like a 2-parter in the middle of the series. Once we'd gotten to know her more, and it should have been like a major fucking character development moment for everyone involved, not just some shit that happened in episode 3.
I understand what you're talking about, because it would have been like, oh, all this time they've just been doing random people, but what would happen if it was like one of their friends?
Yeah, like they could have been like, oh, the Ryusoulgers are hanging out with this woman, we should target her, and wahaha. Because that was the thing that like even shows like Sailor Moon did, where they would always just target random people, and then midway through the show, they would start targeting people of importance. But yeah, no, I think it should have been a two-parter. You're right, because then we would have also had more time to address why Ui is depressed.
Like
Not
the
just,
stakes
oh, I'm
would have been
lonely. I
like
want
the
people to
stakes
look
would
at
have
me.
been higher.
Yeah. I'm now that I realize that thing about the non-ranger finishers, that is a terrible portent. I really hope they fix that. And I don't even know how they would.
Oh, they'll probably come up with something about how, like, oh, the mini swords will split into two. There will be a small one and a big one.
Huh?
I don't know.
I don't really know.
You know, I was gonna say that sounds a bit contrived, but it's Sentai, and I'm sure they're not above that kind of stupidity. I'm gonna remain cautiously hopeful.
In Kyoryuger, they grew the monsters by pouring water on them.
Yeah,
so they were sponges?
At least that was a case of they got defeated and then revived first. The method by which they got revived is largely inconsequential.
Yeah.
It's
so I'm just thinking, like, they'll probably gradually start doing things more, hopefully.
These ones do grow over time instead.
I feel like what they could do is the monster gets defeated and there's nothing but, like, the bare essence of it left. And then somehow, whatever negative emotion the human host has gets amplified, like, oh, you're depressed, we're gonna make you more depressed somehow, and that just, like, surges more negative energy out, which causes the monster to revive. You know what I mean? I feel like that's probably the easiest way to do it. Unfortunately, that will require them coming up with tragic shit to happen for every episode, so we'll see how successful they do.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, let's move on to our feature topic.
So next week is Ko versus Toa and the debut of Tiger Lance and possibly Mill Needle as well. And yes, our feature topic for this week. All right. So, Gar, give us a little preface on this.
This was amazing. Oh my god.
So, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, like after we were done Metal April, I didn't realize there was a movie for the original Android Kikaider show, in which it's called Jumping Out Android Kikaider or Flying High Android Kikaider, whichever.
It's probably like Konde, which could be interpreted either way.
Yeah, it came out in March of 1973, and it was screened as a part of the Toei Manga Festival, in which the screening held a total of 5 films.
So this actually aired in like a theater.
It was with other things then,
yeah. It came with The Great Adventures of Panda, Baby 2, Mazinger Z.
Oh, cool.
Himitsu no Nakono-chan, and Kamen Rider V3, the movie, which was just the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Right, because they did debut V3 as a movie first, just to intro them, and then made the actual series. So that was probably the pilot episode, which was the first 2 episodes. Okay.
Oh, wait, if we need to talk about this, I'm going to pull out my 3D glasses. Because this movie
and I'm just like,
is in 3D.
Oh, it aired alongside the Mazinger movie.
In 3D, it's in
black
and white.
We'll get to
Ichi,
that.
I love for the picture you used for the topic. You used the reboot Kikaider.
I was too lazy to look up a good picture of the original.
We have one though.
Oh my god!
I couldn't find it.
All right.
Anyway, so the movie opens with fucking Shang Tsung in his underground science lab.
Oh, you mean Professor Gills?
Yes, telling the audience specifically that he's going to destroy the big 5 cities of Japan.
Probably the ones that were the festival was probably held in. I'd like to think
that would be hilarious.
That's probably it.
You are in danger right now.
That's bullshit.
I just love like he's talking to the camera and he looks like Shang Tsung, so I'm like, your city is mine. Woo!
But yes,
movie.
The big thing about this movie was it was in 3D.
Or rather, certain fight scenes were to be viewed with 3D glasses.
I saw it. The 3D in this movie, I gotta say, guys, was fantastic.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
top-notch.
God,
I couldn't
looked like
believe
they
it.
were right in the room
So
with
good.
us.
Oh,
Like when Sand Lizard like threw his tongue out like at Kikaider, I thought he was actually throwing it at me. Like holy shit.
man, I swear.
I
to God,
actually was choked.
When the 3D came on every time, I swear to God, everything looked so nice. It looked like the film went back 50 years.
Yeah, it looked so good. It looked like it was black and white.
I was so invested in the action that I lost the ability to see color.
Right?
So apparently, when they re-released this on the Toei channel, a disclaimer was added at the beginning, and the stereo image part was broadcasted in monochrome. So that's why it's in black and white.
Amazing.
I feel like that's not good enough.
Right?
Well, no, because like chances are the actual screen was probably
the actual color from those scenes, or
it's just red and blue.
I'm just thinking
because it was filmed in apparently it was filmed that way.
Oh,
is there a version that actually has?
Oh,
hang on.
So
No,
they only had the all red and the all blue film versions. So they couldn't mix it into an actual version. So they just monochromed it.
Yeah. So according to the Japanese Wikipedia page, a three-dimensional part movie film shot in a special format called anaglyph type, red and blue filters at the entrance of the cinema. Oh.
Wow.
So yeah, this movie was heavily meant to just be in 3D.
Fucking magic.
One of the things I mentioned earlier is like one of the things I got from it is I got a kind of a Logan's Run vibe from because of how old it is. But then like when you switch like the black and white stuff, I kind of got like if you think Beverly Hillbillies like black and white slapstick.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen either of those.
Logan's Run's pretty good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to any of our cinephiles listening.
Yeah.
But yeah, he talks about his plan to destroy the 5 cities, and the audience like shouts back at him.
Earliest form of breaking the fourth wall.
And the plot device is literally a weird flux capacitor looking thing that is made of apparently the almighty metal, which is something that is sought by everyone over the course of the movie.
And it looks like tinfoil.
Oh yeah, half the shit in this movie looks like it's made of fucking tinfoil and paper mache. Including many of the monsters.
Oh my god, fucking monsters.
Oh, we're gonna get to those guys.
Well, I remember when we talked about the original Kikaider that like I remember I looked up like a lot of these fucking monsters and their names, and I looked up like what they looked like, and I was just like blown away with how just like shitty they looked.
I mean, it's a different time.
God damn.
Like we know how old these are, but
So-
it's not going to stop us from laughing at them. So just a disclaimer on that. To anyone.
So what I gathered the plot of this movie was that it's pretty much the same as the fucking show. The father of these 2 kids, who was also the creator of Kikaider, lost his memory, and he's just wandering around, and they don't ever notice him when he's around, and they're just like, Jiro, and they're just
that isn't even the plot. That just describes things that happen between the other scenes. The actual plot of the movie is that this other person, Yuka, the girl in the red, apparently has a key that was left to her by her boyfriend, brother, and it's not super clear, who was murdered by more of Dark's monsters. So she has this pendant that apparently is able... I don't remember this being explained, but by merit of what we see it end up doing, a key made of the same almighty metal that is able to destroy Dark's laboratory, because that's what it ends up doing when we see it used at the end of the movie. So Dark has targeted her in order to get this pendant off her to stop them from destroying Dark's labs.
Spoilers, it got destroyed, but it doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
Is it just like back to normal in the next episode?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Because Dark's located like everywhere in Japan.
They blow up the lab that used the almighty metal to revive all of the monsters from the show, and then Jiro's like, good, now he won't be able to revive those monsters, and fucks off, and the movie ends. And then I guess the show proceeds on as normal, which means it was just like, here's all the old monsters again, blow them up, cool, let's go fight the next one.
But
that's basically what the movie was.
Let's talk about Hanpei, and how he was.
Hanpen.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
Hanpen.
named after a fish cake, first of all. What? You don't know what? Search for let me just show you what Hanpen is.
I forgot about this magnificent motherfucker.
It's a type
Which he reminds me so much of Klinger from MASH. And I think it's just because he dresses in women's drag.
Yeah, like he dresses up as his normal outfit as Sherlock Holmes wannabe. He dresses up as a woman in one shot, and I thought that was Yuka when we saw him from the window until it zoomed in.
That's Hanpen.
Oh, okay.
It's a type of fish cake that is described as being sort of marshmallowy fluffy, and it's made of ground fish and ground yam, I believe.
Ironically, that completely describes the character.
Yeah, but it's just super random that that's his name. Like
that description you gave perfectly describes the character.
My mind is trying to figure that out.
You work on that. But yeah, most of the movie, he's dressed up like he just stepped out of fucking Aladdin.
Arabian Nights.
Yeah, really.
And it's completely unexplained. He just changes costumes randomly throughout the movie.
Because he's a spy. He's a detective.
And then
he changes
it. Wasn't it on like the beach or desert thing, anyways?
Well, he's not a very good one because he goes around shouting his fucking name at everyone.
For fuck's sakes, he dressed up as Charlie Chaplin once, walking around.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh no!
Like he did the walk and everything.
Speaking of weird, unexpected shit, like after we see the intro, it cuts to a marching band singing "When the Saints Go Marching In." I did not expect that in this Japanese movie. I don't know if that's like an international song, but
I think so.
Pretty well, from what I've heard.
Yeah, sand lizard, aka the monster that had blade for nipples.
It straight up had fan blade nipples.
He had cooling fans for nipples, like pulled straight out of a computer,
complete with grate covers over them, which we thought were like blades. But like he's like the monster of this movie because he's the one that's fought the most. And every time he shows up and starts fighting, put on your 3D glasses!
You heard him, kids. Put on your 3D glasses.
No, it's just freaking goddamn. He's such a weird monster. All the monsters in this are weird.
Every noise he made was very unsettling.
So then, like, they're about to like. They're getting attacked in like what's like kind of like a desert area or something like that, and then all you just suddenly hear a guitar, and it's like, oh, it's Jiro!
And I swear to God, I don't know if we talked about it before, but it sounds like the opening notes to Roundabout.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm just ready for like
change.
To appear on the screen.
One guitar.
Just has one string on the guitar.
I love when Yuka is just running along the beach and she spots the plane, and then we see like Mooks driving the plane, and she just runs away from the plane like she thinks she can outrun it.
Did you see the Mooks' awesome sneakers?
No.
They wore sneakers.
Oh, good. So they're the Mooks from Gun Caliber.
Yep.
By the way, I finally watched the backer cut of Strega, which is Garage Heroes' indie tokusatsu film and a sequel to Gun Caliber. It was fucking awesome. Everyone should go support Garage Hero. And for those who forgot or didn't know, I interviewed the creator, Bueno, if you look up Nice Friendly Chat Ranger.
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago.
Okay. So I can't promote Ultra Ranger, but you can promote Nice Friendly Chat Ranger, where there's only one episode of.
I don't mind you promoting Ultra Ranger, I just don't want you sticking images on the screen. Anyway. Is it just me, or did Sand Lizard sound like fucking Krusty the Crown?
Krusty the Crown?
Clusty the Crown.
Clusty the
English is hard.
I'm tired.
Is this the Clusty Crown? No, this is...
Hey, I'm not sounding like Krusty the Clown.
So yeah, the thumbnail is just gonna be Sand Lizard with frickin' Krusty's face over him.
Will they be seeing that while looking at this picture? I mean, with this, I think we're all tired.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Alright, so I think we should just wrap this up then. Because there's not really a whole lot to say about the Kikaider movie.
Well, there's a lot to say about the monster count.
Oh my god, when they...
Sad gorilla,
pussy.
It's orange snail, gray pussy.
Okay, I have to say that's just the subbers being assholes.
Yeah, they need the squid one, fucking Squidward tentacles.
But they didn't even need to do that. It was funny enough even without it.
Yeah, so
guys, get this. This was subbed in English by Russians.
What the fuck?
Yes.
That explains everything.
Look,
but it wasn't in yellow text.
No, that's the Chinese itchy.
Wow.
I'm
So
not
the Chinese,
even.
so the Chinese text is yellow.
Yes. I'm not. That's not even racist. That is fact.
No, I believe you. I feel like I just had to highlight that.
It's like freaking every single subtitle done in Hong Kong uses that same yellow text.
No, I know. But
It's awful.
The
Burns my
fucking
eyes.
cat monster who has a fucking phone rotary dial on its belt, they sub as gray pussy. And I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate. And then sad gorilla.
But it's funny that we recognize that because no one else would have recognized the phone word or anything.
They subbed one of the characters as Dark Horse when you clearly hear him say Black Horse.
Just like everything else, whenever something says black, they change it to dark.
But I think the highlight of this entire movie that killed everyone, especially Emily the most, was just when all the monsters are separated into teams, and then we get to Sky Team, and apparently the octopus monster is part of the Squid Team.
Why is the octopus of the Sky Team? The octopus just freaking nukes into the air, collides with another guy, and they explode.
They just and explode. And
there's also this one shot where it's clear that they did a jump cut to remove the suits before.
Yeah, when they kill like Team Ground or whatever, they're all just like fucking flopped on the ground, and then like for half a sec you see the shot without them, and then the explosions go off. Oh no!
And then
Team
there was
Ground!
the scene where the motorcycle flies.
Look. When they said the octopus was part of the Sky Team, everyone's like, why is an octopus on the Sky Team? Well, obviously he spins and just becomes a fucking helicopter.
Except
right?
he didn't spin.
He didn't. He just Superman flies into the sky, and I'm like, all right, cool, whatever.
I tried to give you an in.
Okay, I guess that's why he's on the Sky Team. I don't know why he can do that. But thank you, movie, for telling me that. He can do that.
When I see an octopus fly. Dumbo is reportedly terrible.
I saw it with my parents, and we were all in the car talking about all the plot holes.
Cool.
How can an elephant fly?
No, that's not one of them.
So during that fight, I swear to God, I think we talked about this during the show, but Professor Gill starts playing his flute, which causes Jiro to freeze up, and I swear to God, it's the song from Digimon! When they Digimon!
Like the instrumental version of the theme song.
Right? Oh my God, that was so good. So, the amnesiac Professor Father Komioji, who meanders onto the scene, as he does a couple of times in this movie with no pomp or circumstance, sees that Jiro is hurt by this flute sound, and his answer is to quote-unquote hurry to help him, and pushes a couple of boulders down this rocky hill that he's on top of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, apparently he's strong enough to do that.
So
very strong.
Apparently the sound of the boulder falling is enough to not only counter the effects of the flute, but convinces Professor Gill to just give up and not try it again.
Yep.
Well, yeah, because it only works
He's already
once.
transformed at that point. The only thing it was doing was stopping him from transforming.
Yeah, the only thing they left out of the manga is that he becomes a murderous machine.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, when that song plays in the manga, he immediately starts strangling the female protagonist.
Oh.
So, Hanpen apparently somehow, at some point, and with some materials, none of which is explained, creates a bunch of fake copies of this pendant that everyone's after, and plays a game of Kaijin Keep Away. Except he fucks up and accidentally gives them the real one. Good
That's
fucking
what you know.
job!
Kikaider's are one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so just overall, this movie was just fucking Showa era silliness.
So yeah, whatever. They fight him again. More 3D glasses bits. They
explode him.
Oh yeah, by the way, Kikaider's finisher attack is called "Then the End."
Well,
That's pretty much
it's
how I
called
felt about
it's called Death End.
Oh well, the subbers said "Then the End."
Then the end.
Yeah, then the
That's
end.
pretty much how I felt about this movie. It
they're
happened.
Russian.
Then the end.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh yeah, the part where he explodes and then instead of showing the explosion, they just have some stagehand throw a bunch of parts from off camera.
Yeah. We set off the nuke and now they'll never come back. And then Jiro poofs for the 30th time.
Yeah,
and
because
Mitsuko and they were still
realize
surprised.
it's like, oh my god, Jiro!
Jiro's fucked off for like the 30th time.
Yeah, Jiro, do next time. Find out, never.
The series is canceled.
Find out in Jiro's finest hour.
Episode 31.
It's a shame they never made an Kikaider 01 movie.
Unless they did.
No, they didn't, because the show got canceled.
Wow.
No, the show didn't get canceled.
Oh,
it's just the
show was
No,
short.
Kikaider 01 had a lower budget than like the first Kikaider show.
That doesn't bode well for it.
But anyways, yeah.
Then they had like bigger shows like Kamen Rider V3, Inazuman.
We have good
like,
shit
other
to do.
Toei. Exactly, like they had bigger things that Toei was working on.
We had bigger octopus to fry.
Or explode.
Or explode.
Frying can lead to explosion.
We got bigger octopus to fly.
Yeah. I was gonna say that.
I am glad that I can now say that I've seen everything Kikaider related though.
So I never have to watch it again.
Please do not ask me about the anime. I do not give a shit.
And you know what this movie was lacking? Kikaider. Kikaider would have been great.
Yeah.
But he wasn't in it yet.
Who knows? Maybe next year we'll talk about the Kikaider episodes alone.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Cool. And so that brings us to the end of another week of Radio Sentai Castranger.
And the end.
And then the end. Until the end!
Until the end!
I miss Speed Racer Flubber.
So, yeah, then Jikai Ryo Sentai Castranger. Next week, for Metal April 2, we will be talking about the 1984 series Nebula Mask Machine Man.
Or Seiyun Kamen Machine Man.
Which looks fucking cool. I can't wait to watch that.
Neat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, thank you all for liking, listening, favoriting, sharing, subscribing, doing all that fun stuff. As always, the primary source of our hijinks is castranger.podbean.com. From there, you can find our Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, Discord, merchandise, and all kinds of fun shit. And anyone who might be interested in the RPG that we've been working on, I have been working very hard on it recently, so if you sub to our Patreon, you'll be able to get up-to-the-day updates on features that I've been adding to the battle system.
And now I'm gonna go eat cold pizza. Bye, everyone.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
I'm gonna do neither of those.
Woo!
Yeah, basically.
It's over. Go home. Alright, thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.